As we cruise into the month of September, I'm super excited to welcome you to another episode of Arthouse. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Let's check out our lineup for today. We enjoy this solo show by this contemporary artist who is looking at dreams in Lagos. Then we head to the nation's capital, Abuja, for a double dose experience by a female creative. We'll see that and more in a moment, but let's take our wordsmith for this week.
Our wordsmith for today is titled Fatherhood by Daniel Ilo. The joy of fatherhood, an innocent baby, then a playful, joyful boy, a joyful boy, then a tense youth, then a mature man, a matured man, then a loving husband, then a caring father. Thus goes his journey through the dark world, always kept in the rat race to fight, seeking the treasure that makes him manly, ceaseless running till hours turn to days, like an athlete running for the gold. The child soldier, his hero, the woman's lover, her guard, celebrate his celibacy from trauma. When the world as a ferocious lion roars, he still keeps his mind like a dove.
Dreams, Disruptions and Actualities is a contemporary exhibition by this artist at the Thought Pyramid Art Center in Lagos.
The dreams, disruptions and actualities in society are presented by contemporary artist So Sen in his solo exhibition at the Thought Pyramid Art Center, Lagos.
Basically in life we have dreams and we have disruptions during the dreams that we have and the actualities. So we dream, trying to make those dreams come to actualities. There are definitely disruptions. So the artist is bringing just the three things that we go through before we have actualities into life in his art pieces.
When I started painting, I was more interested in creating images that would just excite me. But as I progressed, I sort of became more reflective about life. Like, when things happen, I begin to look at it critically. What does it mean? And what meaning can I sort of get from this? Or what lesson can I use to portray so that when people see it, they will be able to learn from it. So for me in painting now, it's more of a tool to reflect, to translate how I feel about my society.
He captures the complexities of the human existence in the works presented in this exhibition, which is an extension of the artist's practice that explores the highs and lows of life.
It's so much about my practice that is hinged on the exploration of the human experience, the complexities that surrounds the human experience. But for this exhibition, two things appear to be key: vulnerability and adaptability. How humans sort of transcend from one situation to the other. I've been able to reference personal experiences that are somehow personal, but I think they are communal. So we all go through some of these things. I've been able to talk about issues like the COVID, the lockdown experience that we had, and issues of resilience too. of how we struggle to live, to exist, despite the situations we find ourselves in.
In his over 20 images displayed, this contemporary artist raises many questions, which is a reflection of his existential dilemma.
There are other issues of vulnerability. And vulnerability is so much about we showing up as how we are, as humans, or maybe being vulnerable in the face of power. So in that direction, I've been able to critique issues around systems, issues around governance too.
The artist wants the viewer to have a sense of our shared identity through the different encounters we all go through in this journey called life.
It's my encounter that I had with a government official, and it sort of reminded me of how our systems are quite watery, in the sense that this is somebody who called me for a meeting, and I sat and I waited for 3 good hours, and he came in like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even know that I told you to sit down here and wait for me." Aside that was not the first time I was coming to that same office. The other time I came around and I saw the elevator around 11 a.m. Elevator opened, and I saw young men playing draft in the government institution in the morning. So that setting the setting and the encounter sort of reminded me of systems, how dysfunctional sometimes they could be. How we just don't care. That's why we have this feeling of unsteadiness. But people who operate in spaces like that, they feel good. They feel like they're in their habitat, like a fish in water, like it's just moving and it's just fine.
The works here today have blown me away. I don't expect anything less from Sosen. If you follow Sosen, you know that he's one to produce awesome pieces. This exhibition, I'm glad that he has brought it to Lagos, because we have been anticipating this for a very long time, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Sosen is an amazing artist. As you can see, his style is different from your usual. Some people might want to call it a surreal painting, because you don't literally see the figures immediately when you see the artworks. It feels like they are hidden inside the artworks. But I love his style of work, and the way he uses his knife. The strokes of the knife are amazing pieces. So Sosen is an amazing piece, and people should watch out for him.
What defined the odds talks basically so much about the resilient spirit of humans, of whatever situation they find themselves in. They stand and they some bow actually, others actually stand and they pull through. So I referenced myself in that painting, in the sense that I found myself in situations in life where I feel like I should escape, but somehow I just stand there. Whatever it feels like is consuming me, I just stand and embrace it.
This contemporary artist, who lives and plies his artistic trade in Abuja, has held many exhibitions and has an MFA in painting from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Kaduna State.
Interesting. Now let's see the works of art you sent in this week. Then Arthouse returns in a moment. Join us again. And these are the works of art you sent this time around. Let's begin with Aradende's work done with oil, sawdust and acrylic on canvas, which says, "I think I'm alone." Then Olamide Ogunade has this melanin fashionista done with charcoal and acrylic on paper. Then Joy Alagbe has King Queen to Be, a charcoal and acrylic on canvas piece. Wakilani Oladimeji says Mother is Gold with this acrylic on canvas piece. Celebration is how Fashola Usman titles this acrylic on canvas work. Then Joshua Jayola has Dreams, Time and Reality. He said it's a celebration of his champion, Floyd Mayweather, is done with charcoal pencil on paper. Then One More Night, Romeo and Juliet, is a pen on paper work done by Elayo Ashi. In Love Series 2 is a charcoal on paper work done by Akinola Olaito. Then Four Dancers is an acrylic on canvas piece done by Joel Wachuku. Who am I? That's what Ajewale is asking with this his charcoal pencil on paper piece, which concludes our works of art for this week. Thank you for sending them in, and we encourage you to keep them coming.
The principles of true art is not to portray, but to evoke, while art picks up where nature ends.
Now I Wear Myself is a double-dose experience given by Jacqueline Suowari in the nation's capital, Abuja.
Into our own hands. Why do you wear a mask? To hide? To protect? To pretend?
This event is twofold. The contemporary artist Jacqueline Suowari gives a dance performance on the theme she has painted tagged, Now I Wear Myself.
Let them shoot, let them shoot. No problem. No problem. Everyone sit down, sit down, sit down.
After that thrilling outdoor experience, They step into the Retro Africa Gallery in Abuja to look at the large works of art displayed by this multi-talented artist.
Displaying my drawings, 12 of them. Each of them have like unique style and representations from Nigerian cultural history, and then I did a performance art, and then it's also installation art, all trying to push the viewer to have this self introspection and find out really what's that thing that kicks about yourself, and find it and then use it to make yourself unique.
Then there's a brief interactive session where the audience get more insight about her passion and the journey that birthed this solo show.
The performance is about being yourself, being able to be yourself, irrespective of the forces that want you to be somebody else.
Her experiences is the inspiration behind these figurative images that try to unmask people's feelings and emotions to reveal a rebirth of self and technique which started at a tender age.
For a lot of artists that I have studied their works, they take it from the point of view of presenting the expression of nature. But her own is a departure in the sense that she's trying to express what she feels personally, interpreting people's moods and bringing her own personal feeling into it. And when she was growing up, we didn't understand that was the basis of her painting until she actually finished university. And we began to converse. I said, why are you drawing these things? Like, why are you interested in faces and things? She says she likes to capture people's expression and see how it relates to her. And people wear a lot of shades, and interpretation of these things are part of what she wants to uncover.
The guests are excited to be in an art space where the appreciation of emotions, expressions, and manifestation of individuals can be seen with attention to detail and standards.
It really is a bold step. The paintings are also bold, larger than life, essentially, all these figures. And the writing, she's taken quite a lot of time to create text to accompany the works and their storylines, and this beautiful narrative about uncovering one's former self to reveal a new self. So I love the title, Now I Wear Myself.
We all know art is a form of expression, and as we can clearly see, she has expressed herself in a very spontaneous way. The details are very immaculately drawn. The pictures are of great quality. And I like to think she could have an insight to true definition of freedom, because freedom of expression and whatnot. So it's really beautiful. I'm intrigued. I hope they also find it intriguing. I hope you too are intrigued.
What I see are strong images and expressions, images that reveal the everyday life. If you look at some of her works, you would notice that it's not like the regular images that you see about maybe landscapes or the rest. These are images that reveal feelings, deep feelings, emotions that we see or experience every day, as also affects our everyday life. You see emotions of love, you see emotions of uncertainty, you see emotions of deep desires, emotions of things that you want to have, and probably the person is lost. Probably emotions of even mixed feelings. So you see all these brought together in pieces of art. Somehow she has been able to use different materials to bring these feelings together in art.
They're very beautiful pieces, and the theme is to wear yourself. And I really like the fact that they look unique. They look like, I feel as if they're different from other artworks that I've seen. And I really love art. I'm enthusiastic about art, and these are very beautiful and wonderful pieces.
The idea is to position her art as a source of inspiration to encourage people to be confident and not shy away from their feelings and abilities. Coming up on the next edition of the program, The Things the Madman Saw, a collection of paintings by Joseph Ogwede.
It's all about the things that actually happen on a day-to-day basis that we actually take to be normal, and that are totally not normal at all.
We see that and more the next time you tune in.
Your Arthouse experience doesn't have to end when the show is not on television. Interact with us on our various social media platforms. See any edition of Arthouse on our website or YouTube page. Join our very interactive Facebook page by joining the group on Arthouse on Channels. We're everywhere.
That's Arthouse today. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And do remember that you can see this and other episodes of the program on our YouTube page. I'm Melinda Akilami, encouraging you to stay safe and keep being creative.